Think you've seen it all? With FAVBET Watch's Point of View Selector, you can experience the game from any pro's perspective. Use the multi-view feature and customize the stream with up to 4 angles. Control what points you see while earning rewards. Drops are activated and lucky winners will receive FAVBET points. And if you ever miss a match, VODs are now available. Get instant access to demos with multiple POVs and commentary. Watch it, control it, face it.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the ESL Challenger League playoffs. We finally made it after weeks of clutch rounds and insane comebacks. We are now here as the top teams have risen to the occasion, and now it is time to lock in. But before we go into all the details, Infinity, how are you doing?
I am doing good, thanks. It is awesome to be back, and we're getting into the final stretch. That single spot at Pro League is finally emerging from the horizon, and it is awesome to be able to be on the front of all of the action. And actually, today they didn't just wake up. They didn't just wake up and find themselves in the playoffs. It has been a long journey spanning months for these teams to be here today. So let's take a look at the format of how they ended up here fighting to head to Pro League. As you can see, group stage number 1, 24 teams split into 4 groups. Now, top 2 teams from each advanced into the high group and automatically into the playoffs. But fortunately, these 2 teams did not quite make it to that point. They finished 3rd and 4th in their respective groups, which mean they had to play through the mid group. And even though they came out victorious from that, they have to start in the lower bracket. There is no second chance. There is no do-over for them. Every single series now is do or die.
Exactly. We don't have any second chances anymore. And the stakes are going to be high. I mean, these teams, they know what it's like to play in the playoffs, but at the same time, you know, the pressure is still up there. And especially if you have a prize pool like this, in total, we have 100k on the line, of course, divided up into the top 16. And currently we have the top 10 left. So everyone's guaranteed to go home at least with a bunch of cash, as well as some money made in the very first stage, because every win you've got back then is also a nice, lovely $500 bonus.
Exactly. So every place you can climb, even if you don't quite manage to grasp that spot at Pro League, every place, every match is just a little bit more in the back pocket. So extra competitive, high stakes until the end here. And so currently they're sat at 9th and 10th place, I do believe. So whoever goes home today, they're still sat on a nice amount, but the further you can go, the better. Now, actually taking a look at the bracket, because we've talked about how that they've managed to compete to get here. They're in this lower bracket, but this is what it's looking like right now. As you can see, upper bracket, there's some games going on. But we have 2 matches today here in the lower bracket. Namiga versus Rush B and FAVBET versus Spirit Academy right here. In the progression, they will fight the teams that drop down from the upper bracket up until the very, very end. So one of these teams, they have a chance, but it is definitely the rockier road to travel for them.
Yeah, and that's kind of, you know, the thing you get if you've lost somewhere earlier on down the line. You still made it to playoffs, but that means you only got one shot in comparison to, for example, a team like Paravision, who's up in the upper bracket. They can still afford to lose a game. They don't have that privilege right here in that lower bracket, so stakes are going to be high.
Yeah, and we are not the only game. As we said, there is an upper bracket match going on. Navi Junior versus Paravision. That's a spicy match. And then, of course, we've got the other 2 games hanging on. We are the only lower bracket match. And, of course, we are not going to be the only match of the night. Whilst there are 3 streams going on, there will also be games after this. There will be games happening in North America for ESL Challenger League as well. The fun does not stop. It is going to be an action-packed evening. So, yeah, stick around and we've got a lot of games waiting for you.
Absolutely. It's going to be a full day packed of Counter-Strike, but, you know, maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I think our game is definitely a very spicy one because, of course, FAVBET against Team Spirit Academy. Team Spirit Academy, who faced, for example, Aurora twice, who probably were the favorites going into, or like one of the more favorites going into this, and they ended up crumbling. So Team Spirit Academy has proven us wrong a couple times. And now they are here, and who knows who else they can take down.
Exactly, and we have got the veto up on the screen. The maps that we're going to be seeing are Anubis, Dust2, and Nuke, and there's a couple of interesting things to point out here. So Anubis being FAVBET's pick, I think it's a little bit of an interesting one. They've got a much lower win rate than Spirit Academy on this map, but they have played it twice as many times in officials in the past 3 months alone. Dust2 as Spirit Academy's pick, once again, higher win rate, less maps. So it's all about what you really value here coming into this, whether it's the reps, whether it's the results, but on less experience. And then Ancient being the decider, I think, is an awesome way to end this. A map that both of these teams are pretty strong showings on. So if it goes the distance, it's anybody's game.
Yeah, I feel like with the exception of sort of their Insta bans, their map pools are pretty much very identical. Like Anubis and Ancient being sort of their favorites to play. Of course, we kind of have to wait and see if we're going to head towards an Ancient and get a decider map at all. But starting off with Anubis, I'm very excited for FAVBET. It's one of their more played maps, maybe not the highest win rate necessarily. I mean, for Spirit Academy, they have a very scary 87% win rate, which is... Ooh, that's going to be a tough one to beat.
Theoretically, on paper, this is their best map on win rate alone. But, as you said, they've only played it 8 times the past 3 months, which isn't a whole lot to work with.
No, it's like about half the amount that FAVBET has played it. But... you know, sometimes it's quality over quantity type thing, and we gotta just wait and see in the server how it's gonna play out.
Yeah, now these two teams, they've not played each other yet, but I'm really excited. I think this could line up pretty nicely. There's a couple of really notable names to highlight in the mix of all of this. It's the name that's been on everyone's tongue. It's Kiyasuke, who, big shout out to Trav, the caster, who helped me figure out how to pronounce his name. But yeah, had been highlighted by, was it 5 or 6 of HLTV's top 10? It was the top 10, actually. But... a player that everyone's really excited for, a player that's been putting up numbers in the server, currently sat on around a 1.31 rating. But there's a lot of stars over on the FAVBET side. They've been putting in the reps over at FAVBET. They've competing in so much and actually having some pretty good results to walk away from here as well. Tension sort of being that highlight player amongst the lineup at the moment.
Yeah, and I mean, previously as well, when we were talking about Spirit Academy, we had to highlight the fact that the average age of this team is only 17. That is absolutely mad. Like, some of these guys are just 16 years old, and to kind of see how much, it feels like they have years and years of experience, which they don't, but they're already on such an insane level. It is extremely promising.
Yeah, we talk a lot about how Spirit Academy's praises have been sung for their program, for their system, and actually now we get a chance to see it in action as we kick off the pistol round. FAVBET starting on that CT side, and it's going to be Smash having a look into mid. Tension, nice early peek out, a lot of info, but do they expect Cypho so close? No, they don't, but it's a lovely adjustment, and there's the opening headshot, and now Tension going for a little bit more. It's cheeky, there's a tag, but look at where everybody else on the map is.
It's going to be, well, an attempt for a mid push. Mid is granted, and they want to get into B nonetheless. Just maybe the long way round. If not, actually taking a long way route towards A. And at this moment, the CT is not too sure where they're gonna head towards. But so far, the CTs, oh, they stood their ground for a sec. But now a double kill comes through from Spirit. And suddenly this side has broken open.
That it has. Marix has a nice little tap there, trying to find something, but they don't expect Mokujin poking his head out like that. Robo waiting, has backup from his teammates, and actually as they whittle down this defense, they start to get a little bit more comfortable, but Bondik, there it is, crawling on through. Managed to push them offside. They found an angle here if they can pin them in, but they can't, even though they're shooting fish in a barrel. The fish are shooting back, and it's Kiyosuke to finish up the last 2 picks. And there's a pistol round on the board and a lovely way to start it. Bomb plant, kills galore. And that is how you start putting your name on this map early.
Yeah, a little replay here on this opener as well. This was a nice start for FAVBET, you know, a good early tag to follow up as well. So you would think early damage, you know, that's sort of half the job done, but not going to be enough. Spirit Academy to continue the role, play together as a team, use the numbers as your strength to try and play together. And now you've granted yourself a very comfortable buy up against upgraded pistols now, and a scout who has now been taken out already. It's the CZ instead that will strike for FAVBET, but my lord, the AKs are powerful and they are ready to sweep everyone away.
Yeah, just picking off the last couple. The fact that the CZ gets a kill upsets me on an atomic level, but Smash, anything more to be found here? Nope, just a bullet to the head, and it's a pretty clean conversion here. Not much to go up against, but they fend off the CZ invasion. And now they are awarded a buy where there's not much reinvestment needed, plenty of utility, and they can start that bit of a bankroll in the back of their minds.
Alright, conversion taken, and now the bank is empty. Oh, with the exception of a lovely Zeus buy there.
It's going our way.
Yeah, it's not quite in the most prime position. Maybe later on in the round it can be granted something. This moment though, it's been made quite difficult. Lovely nade up on Smash. And the stack at this moment, they have to run away. The bomb has been planted on the other side of the map. Now what do you do? I mean, you've got a couple players with pretty much nothing to lose. You might as well go for a hunt.
Exactly. I love that they posted the Zeus up to try find an exit pick, but everyone has already left the site and has gone hunting. Unfortunately, I was going to go down, hand over that weapon, but it's only a Mac 10. Yeah, I'm still very curious. Actually, they've taken a last-minute head over towards the site. There's no kit to jump on it. Hail Mary hero play to try and get a defuse, but they're definitely trying to make a bit of noise to close out this round. But they are now trapped well and truly and being chased. Mokujin waiting for the peak, hoping to be a little bit greedy, find something more, but nothing more to be given away for free.
No, they're pretty much granted nothing here in the early phase of this game, and it is FAVBET's pick. But of course, that means they're starting out on the more rougher CT side, and now it's time to see what they've got. Is it going to be Spirit Academy picking up the pace even further, or can they finally make a bit of a dent in their armor?
Yes, definitely has to be the round to get it done. 2 orbs available, 1 on each side, that we will get to see clash a little bit here. Tension holding from main, whereas Alcaran's getting very aggressive with this. The proactivities are going to pay off. He's going to have to be quick with it. There's 2 people there, gets the first. The teammate peeks off the back, and there's Kiyosuke to ensure no trade comes through. And now Marek, so much to do, gets 1, but the trades are instantaneous. And now Jackie caught with utility out, and it's all come tumbling down.
You blink and within a second everyone has been wiped off this B-bomb site, and it's just Smash that is left. And honestly, ideally you want to see if you can save, but is that going to be the case? You know, a couple of these players have enough cash to go for a hunt.
Could do if you're really, really wanting to hammer the point home. Because it's not even like giving away a single kill here is going to be necessarily too detrimental. But the flash is lovely. The spray is a little messy, but look at that. They even had Robo ready to rotate around the back just in case. So yeah, no loose ends. All tied up, and now 4-0 lead. Not the worst way to start. FAVBET, you lose the pistol. It's a difficult, very tricky couple of rounds after that, but does have a little bit of worry having to start to set in the back of your mind, especially when you're on yet another eco, and then suddenly, you know, halfway at the mark is already approaching, but a match pause coming on through, making sure that everyone is ready to go. But that CZ, how do you feel about the CZ, Willis?
I mean, I'm not a hater, but oh, the chicken.
That chicken has been trained to sit on command. That's a battle
Lovely.
Chicken. He's going into
never mind. He's getting ready for the round. I mean, it's starting in 4 seconds.
Armor this guy up. Someone drop him, please.
Oh, he is going the wrong way. That is a shame.
Oh, no. This is, look, presence, you know? Fake, he's faking, clearly.
I see. He's lurking. That's it.
Exactly. The rest of the team, however, keeping their sergeant safe back at spawn. Approaching forward, and Robo actually, with the help from Kiyosuke, they played out a lot of space. That's a shoulder caught. His hero AWP, it's gonna have to be magnificent. Taking the space, a little bit hesitant on where they want to go next. Actually just deciding to put a little bit of pin in it. Lovely nade goes deep, and Jackie's going to be feeling that tomorrow. Passes the bomb on over, hoping maybe someone's going to peek them. But actually, FAVBET, they know they've lost this space. They don't really want to lose any more health or life contending it. And Spread Academy, they take all this space. They wave the white flag. They back away now and decide to head elsewhere. But they've not had anybody to secure that map control. So now I have to start all over again.
Yeah, having to take space still at this part of the round, it's going to be tough. But at the same time, FAVBET have very little to work with. Now the cavalry starting to arrive. And actually, there's a lot of timing wasted here for Spirit Academy. And the more CTs arrive, the more trickier it becomes to set foot on this site, not knowing where all these players are. The orb is being boosted up, and it strikes with another kill.
Mokujin, there's the peak, and now one by one they force themselves out, and actually Mokujin could have got a second. He's been run out of bullets, and now Sypho having to step up, allow his teammate the opportunity to reload, but even that's not certain. He's just got to do it with the pistol. Yep, they're running around. Come on.
No way. What? He is just winning by running around the pillar. That is absolutely insane.
It's the chicken strategy.
I'm shocked. Well, yeah, I guess so. I mean, the chicken was in T-spawn though, so maybe the chicken was a little
leading by example. But that's
a spy.
That's gotta hurt if you're Spirit Academy.
Yeah,
you know, you've had
that
such
should not have happened.
Yeah, you've had such a solid round streak, and then to lose that initial round off the back of just not quite being able to catch the back of somebody running around the pillar. Wild goose chase and lovely nade in towards tension. I think Spirit Academy, they're going to want to bite right back. No more messy rounds. Kiyosuke has been allowed a lot of space, taken over towards Connector. Actually, there's nobody really here to welcome him, and he's not getting too eager to have a look, and it's over towards A. They start to lean. They're having a bit of trouble clearing through mid, apprehensive to say the least, but this fight with Smash, this is going to be what they need to open up the round.
Taking their time, but they got mid control. No one actively contesting for it. They are sending Marix over though towards A to help out, but not quite in towards deep mid. And now first kill has been made. And even though a little bit of cavalry has arrived, Marix is only good for 1 kill. And the numbers game is heavily in advantage now. Spirit easily plant. And FAVBET immediately, you know, you've got that 1 round in the pocket. Now you've got to buy, and very little map awareness and control, and it costs you the round.
Yeah, difficult one, and that smoke still lingering. The fact they re-smoke it doesn't even allow those two players to have a look. I love that they have already got Sypho all the way around the world with the support of Kiyosuke so that nothing gets away. Playing in these pairs to try eliminate any opportunity for a weapon to be snatched away, for anything to go awry. It's messy tension, lucky to be limping away, but unfortunately being shepherded right into Sypho's crosshair. They're not quite sure where Bondik is. They've got a rough idea because they've cleared out everywhere else, and he's just gonna sit still, hold his breath, and hope that nothing gets heard. But that is a difficult one. At Spirit Academy, they let a round slip away in a really silly fashion. No more.
Yeah, so a little bit of a speed bump in the road. Still a round though, I think that Spirit Academy should not have lost. But it's the recovery that matters, and it was a near to flawless one. So surely that has got to hurt if you're FAVBET, and instantly you're back in pistols, you got this hero rifle, but already a player lost, and it seems like maybe Spirit Academy want to do a similar strategy, just run in towards middle, being uncontested, and they might want to just dump their aggression onto that A-bomb side again. But they're being met with a pistol again, Marix with one. But it seems like, again, they're grabbing the short end of things, the numbers are getting more dire, and it's just Bondik that's left.
Still clinging on to this rifle like a lifeboat in a very, very vast ocean. This time, we'll not be allowed to save it. I think it's definitely something, you know, it was an eco round. There wasn't much that they had there. I think there definitely needs to be a heavier focus on mid, because Spirit Academy, they've been taking the space, they've been dumping a lot of util over here. They take it, and then for the most part, they just peel back immediately, but FAVBET's letting them take this site, and it's letting them work anywhere they want to, allow them to rotate A, B, all the way to enemy spawn if they so desire, so maybe a little bit more attention focused over there. Because if you can find that opening pick, it may not just be one. There's a lot of them that tend to huddle. So, mid may be going to be the epicenter for Spirit Academy. This time, however, buy for FAVBET. Tension back on that AWP. But, again, finances, they're good for one round every 3 or 4. And they really, really need to secure themselves a gun round.
Yeah. Little pause, some time to think. Yeah, I mean, shout out to the operators we got on the stream behind the scenes, because they are doing an incredible job keeping this very, very pretty. Like, okay, oh, never mind. Players are ruining the prettiness now.
Kisege having a little bit of a spin there, making sure, you know, wrist doesn't cool down. Back into the action. Short little break for us to do some sightseeing. A little bit of tourism on the wonderful map of Anubis. But eager to get back into it. Bloodthirsty, as you can see, raring to go. And the pack moves out. Once again, head in as a unit. Sending a little bit of presence over towards mid. But this time, A. They've had a bit of a test, see how the defense is looking, and they think maybe this is an area they can exploit. Tension's getting aggressive, might be able to find the pick. The trade's going to have to be good, and the AWP battle's won out, and they can't quite find the trade. Kiyosuke not round the corner in time, and actually just getting out of dodge, and Tension's going to post up, ready for another. They peek one by one, no utility on that, and you can't help but feel maybe a bit of a faux pas. Smokes come out, and suddenly game plan is ruined, and they've got no other map control, so as Bondik starts to have a little bit of a look, may be able just to trap them in here.
This moment, Marix again making his way in towards the middle. This time a more heavier focus on that part of the map, but still not getting too eager to hunt down for information or get too overly aggressive. Especially now with a lead, but Robo has found Tension. That's over towards long, so suddenly Robo has quite a bit of space here to work with. Important thing here for him is to not die and create a lot of noise. Uh-oh, checking your corners, it's very important, and a mistake like this could give you... Oh, a nightmare scenario right now. Bomb drops as well. And suddenly Robo, who maybe had to be the savior of the round, is now all by himself.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Lovely read from FAVBET. The fake, they managed to take a lot of space on towards site, buying the teammates the time to rotate and hopefully drawing over that utility. But no, FAVBET, they hold steadfast. They take down both, and as you said, clearing your corners. Running a little bit low on time, but that's one that you'd really like to see them check. A little bit of util just to be chucked in there, but hasty, apprehensive, they are going to get punished for that. And now FAVBET, a second round, are they able to convert it? Because fortunately for them, Spirit Academy, you're going to have to win a couple in a row to be awarded an eco, a breath of fresh air. But Cypher going ugly early, trying to find that jewel, knowing that they've been burnt, that somebody likes to go for this early peak. Actually, the util has been a bit of a distraction, and Smash has decided, actually, he wants this fight.
Gonna creep in, is he not? Okay, maybe keeps his distance.
This poking and prodding is definitely been an interesting move from Spirit Academy, because it's made it difficult for FAVBET to read exactly what's going on, because even if they show presence, you know, 20 seconds later, everyone's positions look a whole lot different, but timing is something that we've seen them have to be careful of, and actually HE grenades dropping from the sky as well. Now a worry, and they are pushing into a little bit of a stack here.
Ooh, back and forth. And all of a sudden, I mean, Rorix is under a lot more pressure coming down towards middle. Bondik is here. Not quite ready to smoke, making it all very confusing as to where these players are. Now it's tension wrapping in from behind. Might have a pretty nice timing. But Molly has already been looked after. It's very tricky. Can't quite peek around the corner just yet. And by this time, everyone has repositioned. Noise now made. They know where he's going to come from. We'll switch to an M4 just to make the job a bit easier. Flashes himself in the process. And as the time ticks away, it's not getting easier. He's going to be picking that all back up and run away. That is so incredibly tough. Like, these rounds have been quite tight. Again, it's sort of very back and forth up until then Robo came around.
Yeah, Robo, it may not look like many kills on the scoreboard, but they have been hugely impactful. And always just being that little bit of pressure elsewhere on the map that keeps FAVBET very uncomfortable and sort of lights the coals under their feet. However, Spirit Academy, a 7th already achieved. And yes, we've got to take it with a pinch of salt. There's still 3 rounds to go. And yes, it is the T side, but it's definitely a little bit of a snowball that FAVBET have not got under control. Timeout being called here. And I like this. Just a little bit of an extension. You're going into the final couple of rounds. Your bankroll's looking pretty good on some players, so you've got the staying power. However, just a little bit more every round makes their life just that easier. This is, of course, FAVBET's map pick, so probably rubbing their hands with a little bit of glee here if you're Spirit Academy. Go back into it we go. The Kiyasuke that we're looking at.
So far, we really see sort of that pressure building. Again, FAVBET has been, I would say, relatively passive throughout the CT side. Not really been too daring with how they approach this defense. A little bit of noise made here by Smash, trying to maybe create the suggestion that they might be peeking. And this is tight. There's a lot of pressure here up on this lower part, but right now, flashes come, nades as well, and Marex this time is not awaiting Fave. He's taking matters into his own hands, maybe hungry for more.
Now, just solve a problem like Kiyasuke, all of your team's utility, would seem, has given them the player advantage, but they expended a lot for just that one pick. A players haven't heard anything, so actually staying bunkered down on B is definitely the move. Marek's actually going to have a bit of help as he pushes this angle. They fall back, however, hearing those main players. Now attention divided a little bit. Can Spirit Academy abuse the chaos? It's going to have to be really quick, and it's round the corner. Sypho speeds round, finds two. Mokujin's got another, and they had dismantled this. A peak at max speeds to grant them everything they need to crack open a site they knew was heavily stacked and wanted anyway. And now just Jackie running for their life, and even Alcaraz is not going to let that happen.
Again, they find a way to crack the code, because FAVBET was there with the majority of their players. They put a lot of pressure up on this tunnel. Maris was hungry for that kill, but as soon as it slowed down an inch and they were not quite on top of their game, Spirit Academy, they crept through the cracks. And suddenly you blink and they are already up on 8 rounds with 2 more to play for in this first half. Off to a great start.
Rounding over towards B, they know that they like to have a bit of a peek for early info on B, so they're just going to sit and wait for this. And multiple angles to punish a double swing, and actually, unfortunately, that doesn't pay off for them, and mid control has been taken, and actually, they seem to be crossing each other in map control. Mokujin really needs to find this kill, and does, but the rest of his team going down. He's had to swivel round, hoping to find both. He finds one, and to be honest, that is more than enough in that situation. It's uncomfortable. Sypho here. Bomb is dropped in a very, very unfavorable position. Smoke going out. What can you do? But time on his side if he did want to go for this.
They still have a minute left to work with. CT is going to reposition just to account for better angles. And what is Cypher's plan going to be? Because that bomb is getting guarded. And there's still a flash and a nade. But do you want to be revealing your position? That's the question. Checking the close corner first. Not quite. Spots the shoulder, sprays. Whoa. Soften him a little bit.
This is winnable.
I mean, 18 seconds though, you gotta get both. That's the first. Almost a lineup, but not quite. Close. Good attempt though, but the round will go the way of FAVBET. And now, final round of the half. Just an inch closer. But we honestly need to see, I think, one more round going the way of the CTs here. If they wanna really be in a run here.
The reposition on that replay as well, you can see it. Everything's perfect. It's just not quite having the time. And, you know, that 2v1, as soon as your teammate has quick enough reactions, it's not much you can do. But got to appreciate the effort. But FAVBET 3, a 4th, maybe. But even the weaponry is not amazing. Jackie with a lot of early damage sustained. Alcaraz has this on lockdown. Sypho flashed around, actually hesitant. Knows that Smash has been a thorn in their side this whole angle, and chooses actually just to throw out the smoke. If I can't have this space, neither can you. Battle will rage on elsewhere on the map. Mid once again, they've kind of got eyes on it from Jackie, but allowed them so much control. Jackie throws the util, it's going to back away immediately, but Robo's already ahead of it. They suspect 2 up here, yes they do, and they're going to get both. And that's it. Alcaraz smoke blocked off, but actually maybe a little bit of a mercy for the team. Robo pushes through a smoke flash of their own. Bomb goes down, and 2 versus 5. It's just the FAMASas left.
Oh, and within a second, it is all done. We got 9 locked in here for Team Spirit Academy. Can they continue all the way? Find out after the break.
A 9-3 half is where we're going to pick back up after this break. And it's been a little bit of a one-sided affair for Spirit Academy. Can they continue this up on their opponent's map pick, or FAVBET? Can they claw this back? T-side, a pistol round to kick it off is exactly what is on the menu. Whether it's what we're served up, that is yet to be seen. But dare I say, maybe imperative if they want to keep this map going.
Yeah, the stakes are certainly high. There's a lot to make up for FAVBET, and this again we talked about this, but this is their map pick, and this is a map that they are typically very confident on. It's a map that they love to pick, that it's really the comfort ground, and so far feels a bit lackluster, not getting much of the ground, and even a couple of the rounds that they've won felt more like a gift, with Spirit Academy kind of fumbling the bag a bit. So far it feels quite one-sided, but who knows? You know, Anubis and T-side, they go hand in hand, and maybe it is time for FAVBET to turn the tide.
I'm liking the heavy investment, some expensive pieces of utility coming out for FAVBET here. 2 Molotovs on Tension and Marix. I'm very curious to see how they intend to use these, but it's going to be a bloodbath on B to start us off with. And actually, the fact that Kiyosuke's not heard anything, maybe is going to start to make them a bit uncomfortable, but are they ready? First pieces of utility come over, and thus begins the onslaught. Attention turned away from Connector just to face main. Jumping over the smoke, they spot a couple of heads, but actually choose to back away from the fight. Cypher locked out by this Molotov. Corner rounded, manages to get a stray shot onto Jackie, but taken down by Marix. But it is Spirit Academy coming out on top here. They've held them off, and that bomb's gone down, but they've been forced off of the site. And now Marix, the only one really with an ideal line of sight into this. Kit available on Robo, and Spirit Academy, it's looking good. They're going to hop straight on it. Marix has to try capitalize. They've heard this, but they're not sure if it's a fake. Molotov to come out, allow tension to peak. They are just trying to stick this, but they don't know where they've planted it, and it's in the midst of the smoke. A gift is given, and FAVBET, they stole a round from Spirit Academy on this site in a ridiculous way, and it is going to be a ninja defuse to kick off the second.
Well, the gift keeps on giving. It is insane again. I mean, they went for the long diffuse first, and then Robo was like, no, let me go. Let me have a go at it. And, you know, less risk, and it paid off. And with that, double digits already secured. The pressure continues to be built up for the T's. And pretty much no choice here but to go for a bit of a force by try to ramp things up, try to get the numbers going. Because you need rounds and fast if you still want to have a shot at this one. But already it's not off to a great start. Jackie loses his life. And it's chaos up on this side. Everyone's getting kind of spotted left and right across the smokes. So far, they try to go for a plant, but there's only one player left. And he even is not going to be standing his ground. It is an easy sweep. And 11th has been secured.
I like the idea of the rush. The issue is you lose the first person to the covering fire. I do kind of feel bad for Robo, who walked through mid, around the whole of the map, and was not allowed to find a kill. Everything sort of over and done by the time that he has arrived. But yeah, Spirit Academy holding down the fort against a very quick buy and trying to catch them off guard. It's not going to happen. So now FAVBET, they're going to force again because money is never going to be nice for them now. They do not have the opportunity. They do not have the contingency round. So it's now getting very close, and it might as well just be all in, all rounds. Marix finds the first kill, and they have to find more. Smash going for the opening pick. They know he's like to play here. The adjustment's good. They take down Mogajin, and now Alcaraz is left alone on this site, but reinforcements already here. They've lost it. Cypher with one. Okay, trying to find it back in. They've managed to actually force a rotate here, and they've caught Jackie before he's able to meet up with the team and leave as well. So actually, the choice to evacuate may actually have backfired for FAVBET. Bomb goes down. Marix has just missed the timing, but can hear the footsteps toying with each other. The mind games are real, and Alcaran's gonna lose, but Cypher now trying to find the vengeance kill here. Kiyosuke pushing around through main to try crunch down on the site, but FAVBET, they're bunkered down.
Time does tick though. And this time there is a kid. Oh, that's almost a double kill, but is not quite able to finish. Oh, and again, running out of bullets, need to land itself, and there is the kid in play. Is it going to be enough time? It's close, but I think there is enough time. My lord, a 3v1 on the site, and he does it. And with that, it's a map, almost map. Well, it is map point, but almost the map secured.
Yeah, that is exactly why all of the pros that you know and love in Tier 1 have been raving about this guy. Kiyosuke, everybody. And, I mean, this is just the start, but what an incredible clutch there. A round that definitely got a little bit shakier than they were hoping to. You never want it to come down to that clutch, but it does. He steps up, and now the rest of the team knows that whilst the buy might be okay, the utility likely to be lacking. They can't have it all on the money they've spent. Now Cypher holding this out, spots a shoulder, readies up the utility. Actually gonna call some reinforcements over, but not quite in time to save his life. There's the pick, but they're not greedy. They don't want to get punished for their gluttony.
Alright, Robo with one. At the same time, pressure arrives here into middle. Again, a bit back and forth. They continue to go 1 for 1. Now all three of them drop in the water. And we have one member already awaiting, and again you blink and it is done. Spirit Academy, both on T and CT side, have proven themselves to be incredibly strong, and with a 10-round difference they've secured their opponent's map pick.
That they do. What a position to be in here. And honestly, just an incredible sequence of rounds at the start. Individuals are on all fronts stepping up here. Of course, we can highlight sort of Kiyosuke as the star. Has been for a while, has very much been preen for this role. But you've got to look at the rest of the team stepping up when needed. Robo's ability just to apply that pressure everywhere on the map. Alcaran just sort of the solid in the background. And Sypho, so many highlight moments of their own here. And now FAVBET definitely a worrying prospect on their hands as they go on to Dust 2, a map that is definitely not quite in their ballpark, with it being a 71% win rate for Spirit Academy. They're going to have to dig deep for the reverse sweep to stay in this tournament, because as we said, lower bracket run here.
Yeah, it's just insane. I keep looking at these replays and my mind has just been blown. And I can't wait to see what this second map is going to bring.
Exactly. But as you said, second map, we're going to have a little bit of a break to let us catch our breaths, for you guys to go refill your drinks and snacks, because if map number 1 is anything to go by, the series is going to be a banger. So go grab some food, go grab some drinks. We'll see you shortly for Dust 2.
Think you've seen it all? With FAVBET Watch's Point of View Selector, you can experience the game from any pro's perspective. Use the multi-view feature and customize the stream with up to 4 angles. Control what points you see while earning rewards. Drops are activated and lucky winners will receive FAVBET points. And if you ever miss a match, VODs are now available. Get instant access to demos with multiple POVs and commentary. Watch it, control it, face it.
Welcome back, everybody. Soon we're kicking off map number 2 between FAVBET and Team Spirit Academy. Already, this very first map we had gone down has been quite a roller coaster. It was 13-3 and an absolute showdown from Spirit Academy to take home FAVBET's map pick. And now it is Spirit Academy's map pick, their comfort ground of Dust 2 that is awaiting us around the corner. What do you make of this one, Affinity? Do you think that Spirit Academy can go all the way?
I think so, to be honest with you. It was such an incredible showing on their opponent's map pick, no less. Yes, they've got a few less reps in officials on Dust 2 than their counterparts FAVBET here, but they have a much better win rate. I think it's also going to be an interesting thing for us to look at is how the AWPs are going to factor into this, because this is a map where they're quite heavily used, but over on map number 1, we saw Alcaran, whilst he was good, whilst he was solid, he was in all the shots that he needed to, wasn't the front runner, wasn't the star of the show. On the flip side, Tension was looking really good, one at the top on his team at the end, but unfortunately they didn't have the finances to have the AWP in his hand, and you can only think maybe what would have been different if that hadn't been the case. So I'm curious to see how we're going to see that play out here on Dust 2, but it definitely needs to be a strong showing from FAVBET to kick this off. I think if we see them start with another really heavy round deficit, it is going to be difficult for them to get themselves back into this. So yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed for them, a nice, swift, clean pistol round to start their own round streak. Reverse sweep, because of course this is the lower bracket, and that is exactly what they're going to have to provide if they want to continue to play in this tournament.
Absolutely. I mean, you said it earlier that, you know, FAVBET have more reps in on this map, but the same went down for the previous map, Anubis, and look how that went. So the stats don't necessarily have to mean everything. It is all the action in the server that really matters. So far, it is Smash grabbing the first kill, trying to keep those at bay over towards long, but what goes around comes around. It's now a headshot to the face as the numbers still, well, somewhat even. Tension is quite low, and now they're grouping up, trying to push for some map control, trying to see what's going down over towards the middle, but as we speak, that means all the eyes that were up on long, they are not quite there anymore.
No, they're close enough that the rotates, they'll be fine to get back in, but Spirit Academy, I'm not 100% sure what the game plan is. Maybe they don't either. They've just sort of sat around waiting, hoping for something to be gifted, and FAVBET have not really shifted, at least not in any way that they can see and can capitalize off of. Now, they do have to send Jackie back over towards B to check that nothing's happened tunnels, but they've got all of the info, and now they just hunch down. There's a drop down from Marix. Can't help but feel maybe not the play, but managed to get themselves onto site. They have to deal with all of these cat players, but there's a couple of low health bars in the mix here. Bomb's going to go down uncontested, and actually they've managed to find a weakness in the midst of all of this. Smoke doesn't quite cover the cross, but it gives them a lot of information, that's for sure. That's the first
that's such an important... Oh, the kills that are starting to rain here with Spirit Academy, they just... Oh, like blow after blow. Robo though gets tagged, but it doesn't seem to matter with a long distance pistol kill. It's a tap, and that is all that matters. Like, again, you know, we were like sort of like, okay, they have the numbers advantage, they can work together as a team, they still had that smoke in the mix, but still, Spirit Academy seemed to continuously be one step ahead, trying to eliminate that one isolated player first, and then all eyes up on the site, trying to use that smoke to your advantage, and before you know it, the round is turned upside down again. We have a bit of a repeat of what happened down over the previous map with FAVBET now forcing up. Hero Scout in the mix as well. But is it going to be enough this time?
It's going to be close range, and unfortunately Jackie back turn. That's also going to allow his teammate through tunnels to have a bit more safety, but Cypher finds their own pick. Alcaran just holding on to mid a little bit here, just really buffers for the space. Now they have everything they could want to work for and more. Tension as that scout on the site, but actually he's been backing away. And they're going to head over towards A, lock him out of this, but there's still a possibility caught on the rotate maybe by Cypher. do have to get a bit of a move on. They've managed to isolate these fights. It's going to be a fight down long. There's going to be a fight here with Bondik. Let's go onto site. They all need to win out their individuals, but there it is. They retreat, they back up together. They're going to duck Robo down. He's going to hear all of the footsteps jumping through. Going to be punished. Now Mokachin running up. Bondik can hear everything. CZ finds somehow another kill in this series. The bomb's already gone down, and now Bondik is the last alive. Picked up Galil. Is it going to matter, though?
Yeah, I think he just wants to say that this was a scary investment.
Look at Robo, though.
Yeah, he's getting scarily close up, down in suicide, now wrapping around. But they miss the timing. He doesn't spot him. So I think...
Should be safe.
He should be safe. Actually, well...
Nope.
Robo's giving it another look in. Oh, no. Oh, he's running up. That's noise made, though. Bondik knows he's around the corner. Oh, the flash is solid, but Bondik actually gets the shot. He's getting followed up, though. And eventually, the kill does come through. Oh, man, that's rough.
Wait for so long, finds the first kill, even fully blind, but yeah, not maybe anticipating the second peak so soon. And they take away every single weapon and drive home the point that this is their series. FAVBET definitely, once again, starting on the back foot here. Bomb plants coming through consistently for Spirit Academy, and this time they know that they have been gifted a round where they don't have to worry as much. CZ somehow, once again, out, but about the only weapon they're really rocking here. Robo having a look in mid. Molotov to allow him to progress forward. Spots player crossing before the smoke, but not really too much they can act upon there. And here we are, Cypher finds one, does take a bullet to the head, but it's not quite enough to take him down. Running off, allowing him to feed into his team, but Jackie's found one, and even the numbers here. Nice nade is going to do so much splash damage, even finds Marix. And now they just run on forward. They know there's one chasing from tunnels, and the rest, they're happy to clear them out as they find them.
And again, side is pretty nicely open, so easy bomb plant. Not too much pressure here, and I guess the investments that happened over towards FAVBET probably have to be saved. I mean, there is, at the end of the day, still 2k in the bag, so with the loss bonus present, and again, still buy. But it's going to be... oh, actually, Jackie has found himself an AK, so surely they want to save that.
Yeah, should be safe here. Has Bondik holding for this push from behind. Has Smash in tunnels, making sure no one's coming from at B. So it should be A-okay to keep hold of this one. They've got very tight security on guard. But it's not going to be much to go on. There's money for this round, so hopefully the opportunity to have a full arsenal and work with it. Tension should have the money for an AWP here as well, which we said, wish we could have seen more on and may have helped them out if they'd had the economy to put this in his hands more often. But they've got a chance here, and it's going to need to be a statement piece up against especially Alcaraz.
Definitely peak. Quite met with too much just yet, but more so a warning shot, I feel. So for a lot of action here, a lot of space wanting to be taken towards middle. Like we've seen a couple of rounds already, trying to spread out from there.
A lot of util being expended, and that smoke for doors has done so much work for FAVBET, but up onto the catwalk they go, and I think the rotates are being called over a little bit early. Still just trying to make sure they don't push through doors here. And they've just held Spirit Academy in mid, but unfortunately for them, knowing where they are and being able to win the round off the back of it are two vastly different things. And Bondik is going to tuck themselves in, knowing what may be about to go down. Gee, Spirit Academy, they're in no hurry to make a move here.
Not quite. I mean, 45 seconds. Surely time will start to tick. Can actually be smoking off both sides here and towards the middle. Trying to see who will come around to rotate. Maybe go for a bit of a cheeky peek, but FAVBET, again, similar like on previous map, they're being very, very passive, and it might come to cost them in the end. Bondic fighting from the back of the site, sees two players, met with a nade, and eventually his life will be ended. All 5 of Spirit Academy are still standing.
Yeah, difficult one. Bondic managing to hold on as long as possible. Just a couple more seconds could have whittled this down, but no, Spirit Academy will find you and they will hunt you down. Alka and Cheeky pick there, and now just Barracks left, and once more saving, because that's all that they're gonna have, and there's really not much hope in the situation. A flash, no kit, and 5 opponents, and even that, you know they're hunting. They've been hunting every single round, even before their economy was properly stable. And they've got utility they're willing to burn on this. Kiyosuke round in the corner. It's going to be caught off, but they know where he is now. They are prepared. Peeks out into Mokujin. And that is it, done and dusted. 4th round on the board. Now, it is only 4. This is how often we see the first 4 rounds go down, especially if you lose that first gun round. Can look a little like this. However, history from map 1 has got me nervous here.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of history repeating itself here. That's the vibe I'm getting so far from this game. With FAVBET being in a very rough spot economy-wise, continuously sort of having the scrap by, trying to pull things together. And again, this very sort of passive play style lands them with very little info, and with that, very little time to respond, and Spirit Academy can just find the holes in their armor and burst on through. Again, Smash here, the first one to be found. Rough start.
And FAVBET's not being allowed to trade in any semblance here as well. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
It's very slow, and I'm liking this from Spirit because it's making FAVBET uncomfortable. They've had really good reads to give them their credit, but it's just the patience being whittled down. And Spirit Academy, they've been happy to take space, sit there, do nothing for 30, 40 seconds of a round, and then pounce at the last second, catch them off guard. And that's exactly what's happening. Marek's trying to keep themselves distracted and busy, knows that they've got no eyes on A, so somebody could come running down long at any second. Anybody come peeking outdoors any second. And unfortunately for him, he's got to start to worry about both potentially.
Gotta take it step by step. Don't want to go in solo and then lose your life if you're running in towards a stack. So far the odds seem to work well. There's only one long player who's now been eliminated, and with this it seems like they can easily run down the site again, even though there is little time left on the clock. It is Kyosuke. Oh, yeah, trying to keep them busy. Bondic comes to help out, but at the same time, is it going to be enough? You've got an AK picked up, still that scout on the mix, but everyone is sort of running in a line of fire here towards... I mean, 2 follow-up kills, that maybe could be enough, but they are still so far isolated from this bomb site. And with no kid in the mix, this is just going to have to be a save. But it was a good attempt to try and crawl back.
This is what was so nice about that situation, is that Spirit Academy took so much space beyond the site, which meant that FAVBET, to even sort of consider looking at this site, had to fight through layers and layers of defense on the other side of the map. They were stuck in mid, trying to clear a safe path in, which meant all of that time they were having to find the fights, take the fights, win the fights, to even get close to the site, because Spirit Academy, they went, yeah, bombs down, but that's not enough. We need to push further. You got to admire the shots as well, yeah.
I know. Yeah, Spirit Academy, again, it's not just sort of the mind games that they play with FAVBET, but also just their aim has been solid. Like, in a lot of these individual fights, Spirit Academy seems to be winning it out, just also pure aim.
Alcaran hasn't died yet, and FAVBET really need to change the tune on that if they are to secure themselves around. Yasuke taken down, that's the star fallen from the sky, but Sypho waiting for the cross there. Don't know if he spotted it. I think he might just have missed it. So there's a gap to work with. Actually, maybe not. stalemate has been reached, but the rest of the team, they've had to hold up. Alcaran's found another one, but it's all just trying to whittle away whilst the team rotates. Do have to get past this little bit of a full stop that has been laid in front of them. There's the first. Smash finds one, is going to need more, however. Mokujin not able to trade. The rest of the team's here. Minute on the clock, so actually can back away if they want, but Robo wants to fight for this. The flash is amazing. They don't choose to back off of it. Molotov to go in is going to isolate this fight with Smash. There's the first. Knows the second isn't coming. And knows they had to have backed down tunnels now, and is going for the fight. Hunting his prey, has the crosshair lined up and ready, but Marix could backstab and take the bomb down here, and everybody else is particularly close, and the trigger discipline finally going to pay off. And now actually they have to find the kill because time's starting to run low. Robo in mid taken down, and Marix now has heard the footsteps of the last. Bomb's been found. It's a manic sprint, and they know it's going to come down to the wire. Can he find the kill? All he has to do is deny the plant. Flash to go over. Peaks, and there it is. Caught in catwalk, blind. And it's another clutch coming out, and Algaran doesn't even need the orb to do it.
My lord. Also, by the way, that view of him sort of like running the overhead view is absolutely lovely.
Stunning.
To see him catch that kill. My lord. Yeah, again, it's just dominance that continues to strike. And every single time we see these rounds go down to the wire, we think there is a glimmer of hope for FAVBET to get their first round up on the board. But so far, it is not happening. Spirit Academy says no. They keep their foot in between the door. And they just want to march on.
So much early damage as well. Look at that. They're toying with it. And once again, head towards mid, make them uncomfortable. Doors has been smoked off, but actually looking to push somebody up here, and they are going to converge and try stop them before they get onto catwalk. Lovely peek from Jackie. Spots so many, only good for one. There's only so much you can do amongst a hail of bullets. Has to smoke himself off, however. They know he's still hiding around. Mokujin waiting, knowing that they've liked to go for this push round doors. Knows that there's definitely a flank, but just not sure when. And now once again, huddled and trapped. Fish in a barrel, but it turns out the fish are piranhas, so even that is not a certainty for FAVBET, but they've got them surrounded. Surely this is something to work with.
Oh, this is awkward. So many footsteps heard, and Bondik just hasn't been spotted. Could land them a big surprise, but he misses. Mokujin does turn around, lands the shot, and now, I mean, pressure still is on. There's good kills coming through from FAVBET. The tap's not quite hitting, and suddenly it is all on the shoulders of Robo. He knows where both players are, wants to get ahead of the situation, lands a tag. And this is so awkward. Actually, both of these two players, they are playing with an orb, and both are gonna crumble to the AK of Robo. It is Team Spirit Academy once again, and they are not looking to stop.
What a lovely clutch there. And it's so harsh, you know. I thought in a position like that, surely you're trapped, but the long player isn't pushed up far enough for you to sort of double swing on this as well. And the damage alone, they kept peeking one by one, allowing him to isolate, you know, a bit of damage, and then just having to go back for the kills. You went, I won't kill you yet. I'll give you the mercy of staying alive a little longer. Just masterful, but, you know, back into the fray once more. So Spirit Academy already secured the win at the half, if nothing else. And now this time, switched it up a little bit, not playing up close to the doors, spending a little bit more of their resources over towards tunnels and B, but ultimately, all leads back to mid.
Nade. Bit of chip damage done. But again, we need to see a little more coming out from FAVBET, and soon, because the time, as you said, it's starting to tick. If not, it's also just for confidence here. FAVBET need to find a way back into this game, both for rounds, but also just mentally.
It's certainly a difficult one. Marek's left with such a lot of responsibility on his shoulders. Smoke's come out, and that's going to draw the attention. Marek's actually ducking back in, not wanting to try take this fight point blank, and that's certainly going to work out a lot better. Spirit Academy occasionally sloppy with checking their corners, but holding on here. Spots a lot of heads, but nothing really to be done, and now Tension left out on an island, all of his support taken away, and that allows Kiyosuke to jump on in. They've left the timer pretty low to try get this on, and with Smash having a look here as well, shouldn't be too much of an issue, but let's hold it down to a 1v3. But
what? Oh, okay, never mind. I thought the bomb was too far away. Not quite. Jackie is actually sneaking the kill in. But, oh, wait, hold on a second. Alcarin tried to get ahead of the situation, tried to go there quickly, maybe with a bit of a surprise. At the same time, though, that means an opportunity here for Jackie, 1v1. But again, time is ticking, and very little info as to where Sypho is sitting. Okay, well, I guess that reveals his position. At the same time, though, that smoke makes things very, very awkward, actually. Hold on, is there enough time to get that defuse in? Oh, the tap needs to be perfect, and it is! No way a headshot landed. Oh, actually, never mind. The defuse did get through. That was incredibly close.
Whoa, what a round for FAVBET to claim there, holding the nerve, but this is not the first time we've seen this series. A little bit of an issue trying to remember where the bomb is and spraying through the smoke to try stop it, but in the nick of time there. I would not be envying either of these players. Having to double take, look at the scoreboard to see if you even won. But FAVBET, that's the first round, but it has to be the first of hopefully 4 more in a row. But there's Kiyosuke with the first, and Sypho, almost got with utility out. Jackie's found one, but there's the trade. Spins around, actually. So much damage, they almost capitalized on the greed, putting your weapon away in a risky situation, and Sypho, no HP's found some more, fighting his way out of this position, and once again, tables have turned and it's not looking stable for FAVBET.
Trying to wrap around, because they are so far separated from one another. And at the same time, trying to maybe get some information, maybe try to get behind. Not quite able to spot anything here. Oh, the timing is perfect. Mokujin is accounting for their flank. And that means it is just Marek that is left. MP9 in his hand. Granted, one will get the hell out of there. At the same time, already being awaited by Robo. And this is what happens when there is just too many still alive on the flip side. They're going to be everywhere, with you having very little information on their positionings.
Yep. Even when they have the information as well, it's still not falling into place. And some of the times, it's just these really snappy peaks, you know. The Patience of Spirit Academy, even if you've read them correctly, just a nicely placed flash and, you know, Sypho being sent round the corner at speeds unhuman. Mokujin wanted to find one there. Actually, it's going to be Kiyosuke with the opener. Random and wildfire. They're all flashbang, but it doesn't matter. They still haven't found the kill. 2 taken down. Yes, it's just the pistols they're up against, but even though they're all on this site, smoke's blown open. Sypho's in mid waiting for this jump up and is about to be rewarded. It's mealtime. He goes for the bite, but misses. So actually has to go meet up with his team and say, hey, maybe we back off, maybe we look elsewhere. But no, fighting forward in the smoke. 2 headshots to get it done. Robo finds a trade. It's still not looking pretty though, but a minute left on the clock. FAVBET, they lose another player. It's just Jackie, and this is confident. It's ballsy, but the smoke's gonna fade, and his shoulder spotted. Finds another pick somehow, going for more, but unfortunately too close to the AK. Flying too close to the sun, but to whittle it down that much, you've got to tip your hat.
Yeah. At this point, it is not even, you know, who has the better aim. It's really like Team Spirit Academy just... It felt like they locked in here today. They have everything aligned. Everything seems to be clicking. Everyone is doing their part as well. It's not like, I mean, Robo here definitely is maybe a player that stands out more than the others, but still, everyone has been delivering. It's not like some people are slacking behind and it's a one-man show. It really feels like a team effort here. And when a puzzle like that, it falls together, this is what happened. You get Counter-Strike magic.
Tension on the AWP. We sung praises and we need to see that delivered upon. Rounding the corner slowly. Maybe overwhelmed. Spots one. Finds the shot but doesn't quite connect. And that's Kiyosuke with two. We don't even get to see who he's looking at. They're already dead. And he's going for more. That's three and he's hunting. They're gonna give him the fights. The rest of his team actually may be able to deny the ace. They do seem to be running towards Smash, but Kiyosuke rounds the corner. It's messy. Finds one, but there we go. Starting to piece it together, but it's too little too late. They're finding these nice kills, but they're finding them too far gone into the round. And now Smash, here's the footsteps. There's a pick, there's an AWP. But he is not going to be allowed to get any further than this. It's going to have to be one hell of a shot. He's getting the footsteps. Reva's not even being quiet about it. Missed shot. They're just going to spray around the corner. This is a messy one. Just distracting the attention long enough for Cypher to come up. Not even needed.
Nope. And with that, it is already the last round of the half. Yeah, a lot of these moments, again, you know, sometimes we see kills come through and think, okay, this could be it. This could be the opener for FAVBET to turn things around. And then you suddenly have multi-kills come across the table. Spirit Academy always managed to find a way. Now, one more to go.
The ability to recover is unreal. Jackie trying to push up, get cheeky, and that is unfortunate because they've already called it. Snappy readjustment. Cypher spotted the player on catwalk. Tension has managed to find one with the scout, and it's Robo through the smoke, through a wall. Why not? It's an equalizer, but the issue that they have is they've conceded so much control, and actually losing that player, it's been a huge detriment. Now Kiyosuke wants to have a look through the doors. Actually not going to be anyone. Careful not to be burnt. Has a look. Not content. Up towards catwalk we go again.
You've seen this story play out before. Close Molly comes in. No one's sitting there. Actually deciding not to sit around and wait here for too long and head over towards tunnels instead. Maybe try catch FAVBET off guard. We talked about how we've seen this one before, but it's actually original this time. Smoke goes out to cover Tension. He's going to try find an angle to work with. Okajin going to hear everything. Bit of a spam for the smoke, but they are trying maybe to make as little noise as they can. Now a flash through the doors. And Smash suddenly is under a lot of pressure, misses the shot as the crouch comes through. And suddenly, again, it's raining yellow in the kill feed. It doesn't matter that they have 15 seconds left to plant. They are in control. Spirit Academy looking to lock in 11, and they will do so. A massive gap between the two teams, and they are on the brink of that finish line.
An almighty task lies ahead of FAVBET. Herculean even. 11-1 down on their opponent's map pick and at a round deficit, a map deficit here as well. And this is it. 2 rounds away from being defeated, being taken out of this tournament. They've been playing since January. It cannot end like this, and this pistol round is everything.
It's a very big hurdle to try and overcome. Who knows? I've seen very crazy things in my life in Counter-Strike. It would be the first time that a team has crawled all the way back. And every single time I look at the scoreline, I'm like, nah, there's no way. And then somehow, some teams, they manage to pull through. But nonetheless, it's going to be hard. Already a little tag up on tension. But the majority of the squad here in lower tunnel, they will go. As Mokujin is awaiting them.
That is a scary fate indeed. Head spotted and has Kiyosuke so close under their breath, but they've taken down the first and they know what the second is. All they have to do is overwhelm and overrun here, and there's the opener pick. And no trade to be found. Alcaran looking to try step up, fill the void created. They are shepherded over towards A. We've seen a lot of action on Catwalk, and now they are themselves hesitating. The smoke blocking their path, and that's going to give Spirit Academy the time potentially to readjust. They're just going to send Mokujin a little bit further forwards, and now that they've cleared out doors, maybe get a little bit uncomfortable that towards Catwalk danger heads.
Taking the time to grouping up here. Some people dropping down. Some people trying to stay up, trying to get up on that side. So far, though, everyone seems to be crumbling. Oh, no, they are lining up. The last 2 players still standing tall, though. It's 2 against 2. Headshot angles await them as Robo is trying to stay alive. And now it is just Jackie. Backs are turned, looking towards Short. Not aware he's coming up the ramp. And it is Sofo looking in the map and series point.
It hurts to see so many times FAVBET had the upper hand. The cards were exchanging between one another, but at moments they had it. But no, slips away at the end, and it's once again just a player, an individual stepping up. And Spirit Academy, oh, they are probably overwhelmed at this point. Only one more round needed. Their opponent so little to work with. And Kiyosuke, actually definitely the right call not to peek this. You've got a lot of people hungry to find an opener. There's the first pick. Kiyosuke with 1. Backs off a little bit of damage. Worse for wear, but still, that's all that matters is the ability to apply that pressure. And there has been little to no map control taken. Checky looking, but no one's going to show themselves here. Sifo pushed all the way through tunnels. They have all of the information they could ever dream of.
Boosted up. But tagged in the process. Oh, actually completely blinded. The teamwork is on point as Mokujin comes to support. Only Marek that is left with a pistol in his hand. But the dream has been wiped away. We had a 13-3 victory earlier on and now a 13-1. It has been absolutely full of dominance from Team Spirit Academy. But with that, a very well-deserved win.
Yep, indeed. Unfortunately, commiserations to FAVBET. That is them down and out of ESL Challenger League Season 49. But Spirit Academy, what a way to start this run. We said group stages, they struggled a little bit, which meant they were in the mid-group, which meant there was no way to qualify into the higher bracket. No matter how good they were, it had to be the lower bracket run here in the final stages, and it's not going to get much easier for them either, because they will be playing one of the upper bracket teams. Game's still going on, so they're not even certain yet, but the caliber is unreal. But if they are going to do it, if they are going to make this victory run, mid-group, lower brackets all the way, this is how it has to look, and everyone should be taking notes.
Absolutely. I mean, this was pretty much world-class Counter-Strike. It was so coordinated. The teamwork seemed like an oiled machine with barely any cracks up in their walls. Like, there were a couple of slip-ups, especially up on Anubis, where I thought, okay, now this is a silly round. They shouldn't have lost this.
You talk about the losing the round to the pillar?
Yeah, and just in general, that was sort of like a very minimal buy on the side of FAVBET. That I was like, come on, guys, you're playing up against CZs for the most part, and you know that felt like a round that they shouldn't have lost. But still, over the total of 2 maps, they've only lost 4 rounds. So, at this point, we are simply nitpicking.
Exactly, and sometimes that's what you got to do when you see a series like that. But unfortunately, that is going to be us speed running this, and that's going to be it. But there are other games going on. There are the Navi Junior versus Paravision game. That's a pretty spicy one. B8 versus Zero to Nasty, and then of course Namiga versus Rush B. And yeah, so a whole night of that, and of course North America's on the way as well.
Absolutely. That's starting in 2.5 hours. And look at this. We got a lower bracket as well. Just a few, of course, right now. Only team we know is Spirit Academy that has moved on forward. As the other games are still going on. Who do you reckon? Who do you think maybe got an upper hand here in some of the other games?
It's a difficult one. I think Spirit Academy, if they keep up shows like this, I think they can go the whole way. If they go out, it won't be in lower bracket round 2 or 3. Other teams, the whole of sort of the upper bracket's kind of stacked, Namiga kind of underdogs, I'll throw it out there. Also lower bracket, and RV Junior been looking good. Paravision, a team that we've casted a couple of times and also very spicy, but I think all of these teams, the issue is they have their ups, they have their downs, and on a good day, any of them can take down any other of those teams. But consistency-wise, honestly, anyone's game. But if they play like this today, Spirit Academy, I've got to rep them. We've got to stick with what we've seen. But do you have any parting words for us potentially, Vilas?
I mean, I'm just very excited to see sort of the future of Spirit Academy. Again, this is a team full of youngsters who have a very bright future ahead of them. And so far, they have proven that whatever they are doing, it seems to have clicked, it seems to work. And I can't wait to see what else they've got going.
Exactly. But with that, we will bid you farewell. Thank you so much for joining us. It has been a pleasure. It has been a fire match. And hopefully you enjoy the rest of the Counter-Strike this evening. But from us over here, see you later.